All right, let's talk about day trading. You've probably heard the stories, right? This high stakes, high reward world that promises fortunes made in minutes, but is just as famous for the fortunes that vanish in seconds.
And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? Is day trading a legit path to financial freedom, or is it just a super high speed gamble? Today, we're going to dig into the strategies, the mindset, and the cold, hard reality behind all the hype.
So here's what we've got on tap. First, we'll break down what day trading actually is. Then we'll look at the good stuff, the potential perks, and weigh them against the really significant risks. After that, we'll follow a trader in action to see how it all works in the real world. And finally, we'll hit the bottom line. Can you actually make money doing this? Let's get into it.
Okay, first things first, what are we even talking about when we say day trading? Well, at its core, it's all about trying to profit from these tiny, fleeting little movements in a stock's price. See, a day trader is not your typical long-term investor. They honestly couldn't care less about a company's 10-year business plan. They are laser-focused on what a stock price is doing right now, often holding a position for just a few minutes, maybe a few hours at most. And here's the golden rule. Every single trade is closed out before the market shuts down for the day. No exceptions. So, what's the hook? Why is this so alluring? What makes people want to jump into such a crazy, high-pressure world? Let's take a look at some of the potential upsides.
One of the biggest draws is actually a weird form of safety. Since you close out every position at the end of the day, you don't have to worry about some crazy news story breaking overnight and completely tanking your stock before you can react. That's huge. Plus, you can use these things called tight stop-loss orders to limit how much you can lose on any single trade. Throw in access to leverage, which lets you control more stock than you could normally afford, and the fact that you learn really, really fast by making so many trades. And yeah, you can see why people are drawn to it.
Okay, we've seen the promise, but now it's time for the peril. This is the reality check, where the dream of quick riches slams right into the hard, cold numbers. Think about this. Every single trade you make has a cost, a commission. And even if it's just a few bucks, when you're making dozens, maybe even hundreds of trades a day, those fees stack up like crazy. It's like this constant slow drain on your account that you have to overcome before you even have a chance to make a single penny of profit.
And now for the big one. The single biggest danger in day trading? Margin. That's when you trade with money you've borrowed from your broker. And look, yeah, if you're right, it can supercharge your gains, but it does the exact same thing to your losses when you're wrong. A few bad trades on margin can lead to absolutely catastrophic losses. And then you get the dreaded margin call. That's when your broker basically forces you to sell everything, usually at the worst possible moment.
There's a classic saying in the trading world that just nails this perfectly. Day trading is like picking up pennies in front of a steamroller. You might successfully grab a bunch of small wins, the pennies, but that one catastrophic loss, that's the steamroller, and it can wipe out everything you've gained and then some. It's a dangerously skewed game.
All right, to make all of this a little less abstract, let's follow a day trader, see how these ideas actually play out minute by minute.
So let's meet Zach. Zach's a day trader. He's not spending his time reading through dense company financial reports. Nope. He lives and breathes technical analysis. He's staring at charts all day, looking for patterns and trends that might give him a clue about where a stock's price is headed in the next few minutes. Zach's screen probably looks like a mission control dashboard. It's filled with charts and all these indicators. He's probably watching things like the Relative Strength Index, or RSI. It's basically a little tool that helps guess if a stock is overbought and might be ready to drop, or oversold and maybe poised for a bounce. He's looking for these tiny statistical edges, and you guessed it, often using margin to make his bets bigger. So Zach's whole game plan is to have more small wins than small losses. But he lives with this constant pressure, this knowledge, that even if he makes 12 good trades in a row, one single bad trade that goes horribly wrong could be that steamroller. It could completely wipe out his margin and end his day, or maybe even his whole career.
Which brings us to the big one, the question everybody wants to know. After you weigh all the perks against all the dangers, can a regular person actually make a living doing this? It really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the truth is, while study after study shows that most people who try day trading lose money, a very, very small group of incredibly disciplined people can be profitable. So for those lucky few, what are we talking about income-wise?
Well, one study put the average income for a successful day trader at around $117,000 a year. And wow, that is a really attractive number. That's the number that fuels the whole dream. But, and this is a huge but, that number comes with some massive asterisks attached.
See, that number is incredibly misleading if you think of it like a normal salary. It carries enormous risks that a regular paycheck just doesn't.
For starters, unlike a pro working at some big Wall Street firm, a solo trader like Zach is risking their own money. We're talking about their personal savings, their nest egg.
And what that means is that income is not a guaranteed paycheck. It is money earned by taking on an absolutely immense amount of personal financial risk every single day.
So, what's the secret sauce? What separates the tiny few who make it from the huge majority who don't? Well, it is not luck. It's this really demanding mix of in-depth market knowledge, ironclad self-discipline to stick to your plan no matter what, and just razor-sharp decision-making skills under extreme pressure.
And in the end, it all comes back to that steamroller. Success here isn't just about picking up the pennies. It's about having the knowledge, the discipline, and frankly, the nerve to avoid getting flattened. So the final question really isn't about the market, it's about you. Thank you for watching. If you got something from this, please like the video and support the channel by clicking on the subscribe button. That really helps us. Thanks again.